You ever noticed how a bathroom remodel starts with a dream of a spa-like oasis and ends with you lying on your back, cheek pressed against cold tile, wondering why your arms weren't designed with a third elbow?
Speaking from experience? Because last time you did a quick faucet swap, I'm pretty sure I heard you negotiating with the universe through the floorboards.
I was offering my soul in exchange for one more inch of clearance behind that pedestal sink. It's the ergonomics of the thing, Alex. It's a young man's game, or at least a man with a much smaller head than mine. But honestly, installing your own fixtures is like the ultimate level up for a maker. It's where the decorative meets the functional, and if you mess it up, you get a swimming pool in your basement.
High stakes. I like it. Today we're talking bathroom fixtures, faucets, drains, the whole nine yards. For everyone listening who is currently staring at a leaky tap and a $500 plumber's estimate, where do we actually start? Before we even touch a wrench?
You start by playing detective. You don't just walk into a big box store and buy the shiniest chrome thing you see. You have to look under the hood, or under the sink, in this case. You need to know if you've got a single hole setup, a 4-inch center set, or a widespread. If you buy a beautiful widespread faucet for a sink that only has one hole, you're basically trying to put a V8 engine in a lawnmower. It's just not going to end well.
Okay, so step one, count the holes. Seems manageable. But what about the stuff that actually makes it work? I've seen people get buried in a mountain of Teflon tape and putty. Is there a secret sauce for the seal?
The secret is knowing when to stop. People treat Teflon tape like they're mummifying a pharaoh. You only need 2 or 3 wraps, and this is the part people miss, you have to wrap it clockwise. If you go counterclockwise, the act of screwing the fitting on just unrolls your tape and bunches it up like a wet sock.
I've definitely been a wet sock offender.
We all have. And then there's the plumber's putty versus silicone debate. Putty is great for the drain flange, that ring that sits inside the sink, because it stays pliable. You roll it out in your hands like a little Play-Doh snake. But if you've got a stone or marble sink, stay away from the putty. The oils in it will soak into the stone and leave a permanent dark ring, like a coffee stain that never goes away.
Wait, what is that? It looks like something a medieval dentist would use.
This is a basin wrench. It is the only reason I still have my sanity. If you try to tighten the mounting nuts behind a sink with a standard adjustable wrench, you're going to spend 3 hours turning it 1/16th of an inch at a time while your shoulder goes numb. This thing reaches up into that dark, narrow abyss and grabs the nut from below. It's the difference between a 10-minute job and a weekend of regret.
So, tool list, basin wrench, adjustable wrench, bucket, obviously, and maybe some knee pads?
Knee pads are not optional unless you hate your future self. And a headlamp. Don't rely on a flashlight that you have to hold in your mouth. You'll just end up tasting old batteries and dropping it in the bucket of gray water.
Let's talk about the oh no moments. You're under there, you've got the water off, hopefully, and you go to disconnect the old supply lines. What happens when the valve itself starts leaking?
That's the welcome to homeownership initiation. Those old shut-off valves, they sit there for 10 years, never moving, slowly calcifying. The moment you turn them, the internal seal decides its life's work is over. Always test your shutoffs before you take the faucet apart. If you turn it off and the faucet is still dribbling, stop. Don't touch a single nut until you've shut off the main water to the whole house.
That sounds like a great way to have your spouse yell at you because they were mid-shower.
I may have been on the receiving end of that particular sermon once or twice. Tiger, why is the soap not coming off? Because, honey, I'm trying to achieve greatness in the guest bath.
You're lucky she stays with you. So we've got the old one out. The sink is clean, and Tiger, you emphasized cleaning the surface, right?
Crucial. If you leave a crust of old putty or mineral deposits on that porcelain, your new faucet will never sit flat. It'll wiggle. And a wiggling faucet is the hallmark of a job done in a hurry. Get a plastic scraper, not metal, you don't want to scratch the finish, and get it back to smooth, pristine white.
The drain always feels like the trickiest part to me. There are so many rubber gaskets and plastic nuts. Which way do they even go?
Think of it like a sandwich. You've got the flange on top with your putty snake. Underneath the sink, you've got that big, thick rubber gasket. The cone shape of the gasket always points up into the hole. That's what actually stops the water. Then the friction washer, then the nut. If you put that rubber gasket on upside down, you'll be chasing a leak for 3 days.
And the P-trap? The U-shaped pipe? Every time I touch one, it feels like I'm playing a game of Tetris where the pieces keep changing size.
The P-trap is a masterclass in patience. The mistake people make is over-tightening the slip nuts. These aren't lug nuts on a truck. They're plastic. You want them hand tight, plus maybe a quarter turn with pliers. If you crank down on them, you'll crack the plastic or distort the washer, and then, guess what? More leaking.
It seems like the common thread here is gentle strength. Don't Hulk smash the plumbing.
Exactly. Metal-to-metal connections like the supply lines to the faucet shanks? Sure, give them a good snugging. But plastic to plastic, treat it like you're holding a baby bird. Firm, but not crushing.
What's the biggest pro tip you've picked up over the years? The one thing that makes it look like a professional did it instead of a guy with a YouTube degree?
Before you walk away and call it a success, take a piece of dry toilet paper and wrap it around every single connection. Run the water, hot and cold, for 5 minutes. Then check the paper. Even a microscopic weep that you can't see with your eyes will show up on that paper. If it's bone dry, you've won. If there's a damp spot the size of a pinhead, you haven't finished the job yet.
That's actually brilliant. It's the trust but verify of the plumbing world.
And one more thing. Flush the lines. Before you connect the new faucet's delicate internal valves, run the water into a bucket for 10 seconds. You'd be amazed at the bits of rust and solder that live in old pipes. If that junk gets into your brand new $300 faucet, it'll never flow right again.
So, the takeaway is, preparation is 80% of the work. The basin wrench is your best friend, and don't be afraid to admit when a valve is older than you are and needs replacing.
You got it. It's not about being a master plumber, it's about having the respect for the water to know it's always looking for a way out. Your job is just to make sure the only way out is through the spout.
Well, I feel slightly more confident and significantly more terrified of my guest bathroom now.
That's the sweet spot, Alex. That's where the best work happens.